Lots of ifs, lots of ifs there. So Romelu Lukaku then squarely on the Chelsea bench. You know who else has been of late?
Who?
Christian Pulisic. And his father actually was on social media after Pulisic did not start, but did play the last 22 minutes in the game against Everton. It was his 7th straight match not starting. Here's what Mark Pulisic had to say. The sad thing is he loves this club, teammates in London, puts his heart and soul into being a pro. Onwards and upwards, my boy. Big 6 months ahead. It is a tweet, I should note, that has since been deleted. We heard everything that you had to say about this tweet on yesterday's show.
Oh yeah, I thought we were in a time warp and somebody forgot and we discussed it.
Bigger picture question. Is Pulisic good enough to do it at a big club like Chelsea? Maybe not at Chelsea, but at a club of that stature.
I honestly believe at the moment that he's not an elite level player on a regular basis.
What's holding him back?
Well, there's better players. I think he's going to be better off, and he'd probably disagree, and his entourage and the acolytes out there that follow him. However, I believe a club like, for example, a West Ham, a team sitting just around, I think the big
step down.
Yeah, well, it is a step down, but it's a step down to, I think, getting regular playing time, whether that be in England or Spain or Germany or wherever. But I think if he continues to try and go to clubs that are what I would call elite level, really going for the big trophies and all the big trophies, as Chelsea should have been this year, that won the Champions League last year, I think he's always going to be, and has been under the last 3 coaches at Chelsea and Dortmund, a little bit of an in-and-out player. On the bench, plays sometimes, plays other times. And I just feel that maybe he's going to have to take a drop down a little bit, not a lot, and get regular game time. And I think that would be beneficial for him.
Shaka, you agree? Does Christian Pulisic need to move to a smaller club than Chelsea?
Well, he doesn't need a move to a smaller club, but if he wants regular playing time, then absolutely yes. I think the big difference between Pulisic and certainly the midfielders at Chelsea is I just don't feel he has that presence. That when he's on the park, as much as he can have an impact in games, he just doesn't have that standout presence to command the attention that midfielders of a club like Chelsea inevitably do and have to have. And that step down to another club, a smaller club, Craig mentions my former club, West Ham, which I think would be a great fit for him, might be exactly what he needs if he is to be playing, if he wants to start regularly, and on the odd occasion that he picks up an injury and has to miss for a couple of weeks, he's straight back into the starting lineup. I think that would be a very good fit, and right now a very good fit for him, both in terms of where he is as a player and the type of football that West Ham plays. So that might be one that both Christian and Mark Pulisic need to think about.
Ian, what's the British press say about it? Is the jury still out on Pulisic, or have they decided he's just not good enough for Chelsea?
They don't say an awful lot about him, to be honest with you. But at times, Chelsea, let's be fair to him, he's been electric when he's had a run in the team. But do you know something? How many games has he started in a row this season for Chelsea? I looked it up tonight. He's only ever started 3 in a row this season. So no wonder he can't build up any kind of head of steam. Of course, injuries have been a big issue for him. Look at that FA Cup final the other year. He was the best player on the pitch. He scored for Chelsea. Then he got a bad injury, which kept him out sort of halfway through the next season as well. So that's the way it's kind of gone for him. And that tweet from his dad, I think, just shows they are frustrated as a family. But I bet Christian was on the phone to his dad and said, look, that's a bit embarrassing. Take it down, Dad.
Nobody's saying he's not good enough for Chelsea. I mean, he's clearly at
Well, I think the question is he good enough to start at Chelsea and be a consistent starter at Chelsea?
Well, you could throw the same bit of mud at Kai Havertz and Ziyech and Timo Werner, who haven't been good enough. Fits and starts, flashes. It's not just him. It's not just him. There are others as well. I know there's people this side of the pond want to pontificate about whys and whereabouts and the World Cup and all that. I understand that. But it's not just him. He's not been singled out. But ultimately, he's going to have to make a decision, Sebi, because the likelihood is, well, Chelsea will change ownership. The likelihood is, certainly at the start, the new ownership, whoever it is, will pile some money in to try and get the fans on their back. That might sort of wane away. But certainly at the start they'll put money in. That'll mean more new signings. That'll mean more pressure to try and get game time. More problematic to get game time.
Would you leave if you were him? Because, I mean, Xhaka mentions
Yes,
that he's like, you don't have to leave Chelsea unless you want to start. At this point in his career, doesn't he need to be playing almost
If I was him,
every week?
if I was him or any player in that position, if I didn't foresee down the tunnel regular game time, then absolutely I would be looking to leave. I want to go somewhere where I know I'm playing. And look, you can even go down to the likes of Arsenal. You know, if you go into even if you go in there, Martinelli, Smith Rowe, Pepe, who has not been good, Saka, you still got to replace. You got to get these guys out of the team. It is not easy, and that's at a team that have been way off for a long time. So he's going to have to find his level if he wants to play 40 to 50 regular games a year, and that goes back to Ian's point as well. He's going to have to stay fit too. But if he is fit and he wants to play that amount of games and be happy and showcase his talent and maybe prove that when he is playing regular, there's goals, there's assists, and we see the best of him, I personally think he's going to have to take a step down to a slightly smaller club with less ambition, with a smaller squad, so that he gets more game time. Whether it's in England or any of these other countries, I don't know. But I think that's a decision he's going to have to make, and make it very soon.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.